0 F.O.G given Gridapat Setachanatip, MrBee. Meta Framework. System boot. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. The cost of a thing is the amount of what I will call life, which is required to be exchanged for it, immediately or in the long run. Henry David Thoreau. System crash. The blue screen of death. We live in a paradox that defies the laws of physics. We have access to infinite knowledge, infinite food, and infinite connection. We are running on the most advanced biomechanical hardware in history. We have extended our lifespan, eradicated diseases that plagued our ancestors, and connected the entire species into a single hive mind network. And yet, the system is crashing. Look around you. Really look. Do you see vibrancy? Do you see electric, crackling aliveness? Or do you see low battery mode? Walk through a subway station at 8:00 a.m. Look at the faces. Deep, systemic exhaustion. Not the "I worked hard in the fields all day" kind of tired. That is a satisfying physical fatigue. This is different. This is the "my processor is overheating" kind of tired. This is the "my fan is spinning at 100%, but nothing is happening" kind of tired. It's brain fog. It's glitching. It's lag. It's the feeling of walking through a room and forgetting why you entered. It's the sensation of scrolling for 3 hours and feeling less connected than when you started. It's the quiet, humming anxiety that sits in your chest like a background radiation leak. You feel it, don't you? It feels like you are trying to run a high-intensity, 8K resolution game on a graphics card that hasn't been updated since 2010. You are buffering. The hardware fallacy. When we feel this lag, our first instinct is to blame the hardware. We blame ourselves. I'm just lazy, you say. I'm not disciplined enough. I need to grind harder. I need better supplements, a better morning routine, a better gym membership. We treat ourselves like broken machines. We try to fix the hardware. We gulp down caffeine to overclock the CPU. We take sedatives to force the cooling fans to turn on. We read productivity books to try and optimize our thread count. But what if I told you it's not a hardware problem? Your hardware is fine. In fact, your hardware is a marvel of biological engineering. You are capable of immense creativity, boundless energy, and profound joy. You isn't broken. You are just running bad software. The background process. You are infected. Not with a virus destroys the host. This is more insidious. You are running a miner. In the tech world, a crypto miner is a piece of malware that hides in the background of a computer. It doesn't steal your files. It doesn't delete your photos. It just sits there, quietly, stealing your processing power to solve complex math problems for someone else. The computer still works, but it's slow. It runs hot. It crashes when you try to do anything intense. The user thinks their computer is old, but in reality, 80% of its energy is being siphoned off by a ghost. You are running a background process called F.O.G, fear. Obligation. Guilt. These are not emotions. Emotions are fleeting. They are temporary pop-up windows. F.O.G is a continuous, runtime environment. It launches at startup, when you wake up, and it runs until you shut down when you sleep. Sometimes, it even runs in your sleep. Fear is the firewall that blocks you from exploring new maps. It's unsafe out there. Stay in the tutorial area. Obligation is the bloatware, tasks you perform for other users. You must reply to this email. You must attend this event. You must explain yourself. Guilt is the corrupted registry file that tells you are inherently buggy. You messed up in 2014. We will never clear this from the cache. This F.O.G suite is eating 80% of your RAM. You only have 20% left for your actual life, for your art, your family, your joy, your mission. No wonder you're tired. You are trying to live a full life on 20% capacity. The admin access. This book is not about improving yourself. Self-improvement is often just installing more apps on an already overloaded system. Here, add this meditation app to your crashing drive. Here, add this 5 a.m. club routine to your overheating scheduler. We aren't doing that. We are going to open the task manager. We are going to identify the processes that are stealing your cycles. And we are going to clicking end task. We are going to reclaim your bandwidth. We are going to verify your local files. We are going to restore your admin access. Because once you uninstall the F.O.G, you won't need to try harder. A computer without malware doesn't try to appear fast. It just is fast. Speed is its default state. Joy is your default state. Energy is your default state. The only thing stopping you is the fog. It's time to reboot. The frequency log. The hidden metric. In the world of coding, there is code that looks beautiful but runs terribly. It's spaghetti code, tangled, inefficient, and prone to leaking memory. Then there is elegant code, clean, streamlined, and incredibly fast. Humans have a similar metric. It's often invisible, but we all feel it. Dr. David R. Hawkins, a psychiatrist and spiritual researcher, spent a lifetime trying to map this metric. He called it the map of consciousness. Think of it like Wi-Fi signals. 1000 Hz, enlightenment. Absolute clarity. 0 latency. Fiber optic. 500 Hz, love, joy, reason. Flow state. High bandwidths. High-speed broadband. 200 Hz, courage. The threshold of power. The system works. 100 Hz, fear. Anxiety. Dial-up. 50 Hz, apathy. Despair. Connection lost. 30 Hz, guilt. Shame. Corrupt profile. Hawkins discovered something terrifying. Most of the world is running on dial-up. The average frequency of the human collective hovers around the low 200s, but spends vast amounts of time dipping into the sub-100 glitch states. Low frequency isn't just feeling bad. It is high latency. When you are in fear 100 Hz, reality feels slow. Problems seem insurmountable. Every task takes maximum effort. You are wading through molasses. When you are in joy 540 Hz, reality feels frictionless. Synchronicities happen. Work feels like play. You are gliding. My system failure. I know this because I spent 30 years running in the red zone. On paper, my user stats were maxed out. I was a C-level executive at a major tech firm. I started web development at 15, learning everything by myself in the dark glow of a CRT monitor. I had climbed the ladder from script kiddie to boardroom leader. I had the stock options, the car, the accolades. I had won the game. But my internal server performance was catastrophic. I remember waking up 5 years ago on a Tuesday. The sun was shining. I had a major product launch to oversee. And I couldn't get out of bed. It wasn't that I didn't want to. It was that I physically felt I had 0-100 stamina. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, running a diagnostic on my life. Why do I feel like this? I asked. I have everything. My internal monologue, the text-to-speech engine, started reading out errors. You are a fraud. You're just a self-taught kid faking it. Guilt. If the server goes down today, it's all your fault. Fear. You promised the team you'd be the strong leader. You can't show weakness. Obligation. Look at the code. It's all legacy spaghetti. Why bother? Apathy. I realized something profound. My identity was successful. My energy was bankrupt. I was a high-level character who had spent all his gold on cosmetic skins, status, approval, items, but had neglected to upgrade his core reactor. I was running on fumes. I was leaking energy everywhere. The microtransactions. I realized that every day I was spending my limited energy coins on microtransactions that I didn't even want. Worrying about a comment on social media. Energy. Feeling guilty about saying no to a coffee date. -100 energy. pre-playing a disaster scenario loop in my head about the economy. Minus 500 energy. I was bankrupt before I even had my morning coffee. This wasn't just stress. This was malware. This was a programmed set of responses that I had installed, most of them in childhood, that were designed to keep me safe, small, and compliant. The hacker mindset. That Tuesday, I made a choice. I decided to stop being a user and start being a hacker. I decided to audit the code. I treated my mind like a legacy codebase. I started looking for the bugs. I looked for the if-then statements that were causing the crashes. If someone is disappointed in me, then crash system. If uncertainty exists, then run panic protocol, exe. I found the source code of my misery. It wasn't the world. It wasn't capitalism. It wasn't my parents. It was the F.O.G protocol. A simple, three-pronged loop of fear, obligation, and guilt that kept me in a low-frequency state, easy to control, and impossible to fulfill. This book is the record of that hack. It is the documentation of how I rewrote the source code. It is how I went from the 30 HZ of guilt to the 500 HZ of sovereignty. And how you can too. System architecture. The patch notes. This book is not a poem. It is not a philosophy lecture. This book is the patch notes for your life. It is a manual for an operating system update. When a game developer releases a patch, they don't just say, "Game is better now." They list the specific bugs they fixed. They explain the new mechanics. They detail the buffs and nerfs. Fixed a bug where player would freeze when encountering conflict. Nerfed guilt damage by 90%. Buffed boundary shield duration. We are going to dismantle the F.O.G machine. We aren't just doing self-help. Self-help is often just changing the Windows desktop wallpaper. It looks nice for a day, but the computer is still slow. We are doing system architecture. We are going into the BIOS. The 3 layers. This book is structured in 3 specific layers of code access. Level 1, the map reality mapping. The render engine. You cannot play the game if you can't see the level. Most people are playing the game of life while looking at a simplified, distorted minimap. They are reacting to things that aren't there. In this section, we will distinguish between the base layer, the real world, and the cloud, the simulation. Learn about render distance, why looking too far ahead causes lag. Audit your server connection. Who are you broadcasting to? We will learn that 90% of your fatigue comes from trying to render the cloud. The hypothetical problems, the opinions of strangers, the what-ifs. Stop rendering the cloud. Play the base layer. Level 2, the debug, stopping the leaks. The memory management. Once we can see the map, we need to stop the bleeding. We need to patch the memory leaks. You have a limited energy budget every day, your monopool. Currently, you are leaking it before you even spend it. We will target the 3 main exploits. 1. Leak of fear, pre-rendering disasters that haven't happened. This is a predictive algorithm that is always wrong. 2. Weight of obligation, running bloatware just to be nice. These are background apps you didn't install but are afraid to delete. 3. Anchor of guilt, trying to patch old versions of yourself, legacy code. This is trying to fix a file that has already been corrupted. We will learn the commands to force quit these processes. Level 3, the overclock high frequency. The performance boost. Finally, once the system is stable and the leaks are plugged, we optimize. We don't just want to be not broken. We want to be godlike. We will install the defenses. The firewall, how to block spam malware input from the media and toxic users, whitelisting. Procedural generation, learning to play in real time, mastering collapse. Instead of planning the whole level, we trust the engine to build the path under our feet. High-frequency amp, turning you into a host server. You stop reacting to the world and start broadcasting to it. The admin key. This requires one thing from you. You must accept that you are the admin. You are not the computer. You are not the code. You are the engineer sitting at the terminal. For years, you have let other people type into your command line. Parents typed, run safety first, exe. Society typed, run conform, exe. Schools typed, run sit still, exe. You have been running script kiddie code for decades. Today, we revoke their access. Today, we change the password. Put your hands on the keyboard. It's time to log in. 1. The F.O.G trap. Error log 404. Fear is the main source of superstition, and one of the main sources of cruelty. To conquer fear is the beginning of wisdom. Bertrand Russell. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. Epictetus. The glitch detection. You are in a war zone. But there are no soldiers. There are no tanks. There is only fog. In a video game, the fog of war hides the map. You don't know where the enemies are. You don't know where the cliffs are. So you freeze. You crouch. You burn energy just watching the darkness. This is your life right now. You are freezing because you can't see. The media throws fear at you to keep you low. Society throws obligation at you to keep you stuck. Your past throws guilt at you to keep you looking backward. This isn't an accident. It is a glitch in your operating system. And it is draining your battery to 0% every single day before you even get out of bed. It's time to hack the system. It's time to clear the map. It's time to see the world as it actually is, not as they want you to see it. Infected user profile. The code that binds. In the mid-1990s, the therapist Susan Forward cracked a code that had been running in the background of human relationships for millennia. She was studying people who felt inexplicably trapped, people who were smart, capable, and successful, yet felt paralyzed in their personal lives. They weren't being held captive by chains. They were being held captive by words. She found that the controllers, manipulators, always used the same 3 lines of code to override their victim's will. 1. Fear, if you leave, I will destroy myself, you us. 2. Obligation, after all I've done for you, you owe me. 3. Guilt, how could you be so selfish? She coined the acronym F.O.G. It was a cloud that blinded the victim. The cage door was unlocked, but the user couldn't see it because the rendering distance was set to 0. The modern glitch. Fast forward to today. The controller is no longer just a toxic partner or a narcissistic parent. The controller is the system itself. The code has gone viral. It has infected the global server. The media stream uses fear to hijack your amygdala. Is this new virus going to kill you? Click here to find out. The corporate mainframe uses obligation to extract unpaid labor. We are a family here. Real team players stay late. The social network uses guilt to enforce conformity. If you don't post a black square flag hashtag, you are a bad person. We are swimming in a digital soup of F.O.G, and most of us are drowning in it. Case study, user 1, Alex. I want to tell you about a client I worked with. Let's call him Alex. Alex was a senior systems architect at a major tech firm. He understood logic. He understood cause and effect. But when he came to me, he was shaking. I feel like I have 50 Chrome tabs open in my brain, he said, staring at the floor. And I can't find the one that's playing the music. Alex wasn't tired from his job. He could code in his sleep. He was tired from runtime errors in his emotional operating system. He was terrified of his father's disapproval, fear. He was paying for his sister's lifestyle because she needed him, obligation. He felt sick every time he took a vacation day, guilt. He described his life as a high-performance car with the handbrake on. He was revving the engine, trying to meditate, trying to exercise, trying to optimize, but the chassis was grinding to a halt. I'm at 100% CPU usage, he said. But nothing is shipping. The diagnostic. We sat down and ran a diagnostic. I didn't ask him about his childhood trauma, that's hardware. I asked him about his current protocols, software. Why did you say yes to that dinner on Sunday? I asked, Because my mom would be upset if I didn't go, he said. Okay, I said. That is the obligation script. It prioritizes user, mother over user, Alex. Why didn't you ask for the raise? Because I don't want to rock the boat right now. The market is scary. Okay, I said. That is the fear script. It creates a hypothetical disaster to prevent action. We mapped it out on a whiteboard. Alex wasn't depressed. He wasn't anxious. He was running a botnet. His brain was being used to mine emotional cryptocurrency for other people. He was processing his mother's insecurity, his boss's greed, and society's panic. No wonder his fan was spinning. The uninstall. We aren't going to fix you, I told him. Because you aren't broken. We are going to format the drive. We spent 8 weeks uninstalling the F.O.G protocol. It wasn't easy. The system fought back. The controllers in his life threw error messages. Error 404, compliant son not found. Warning, employee boundaries detected. But Alex held the line. He learned the command line interface for his own life. He learned to say no without explaining himself, closing the port. He learned to sit with guilt without acting on it, ignoring the pop-up. 6 months later, I saw him. He looked 10 years younger. The twitch in his eye was gone. How are the tabs? I asked. He smiled. I closed them all. Just running one window now. Which one? Mine. The firewall concept. Resource extraction strategy. To defeat the F.O.G, you must stop seeing it as a feeling. Feelings are internal. F.O.G is external. We need to reframe F.O.G as a resource extraction strategy. Imagine you are a high-capacity battery. You wake up every morning with 100 charge units. You can use these units to build something cool, love your family, or enjoy your life. But there are other entities in the ecosystem that have no charge of their own. They need yours. Who are the miners? 1. The media, they cannot exist without your attention energy. 2. The narcissist, they cannot feel big unless you feel small energy. 3. The corporation, they cannot make profit unless you overgive energy. How do they extract the charge? They can't just take it. That would be theft. They need you to give it willingly. They need a key. F.O.G is the key. Fear is the hack that makes you surrender your freedom for safety. Obligation is the hack that makes you surrender your time for approval. Guilt is the hack that makes you surrender your power for absolution. The inorganic nature of F.O.G. Have you ever noticed how mechanical guilt feels? True remorse, sadness that you hurt someone feels heavy, but it passes. It washes clean. Guilt feels like a looping GIF. It is repetitive. It is sticky. It grinds. You should have done more. You should have done more. You should have done more. That repetitive quality is the signature of a script. It is not organic emotion. It is a bot. When you feel that grinding sensation, you are not experiencing a human emotion. You are being pinged by a server. You are under a DDoS, distributed denial of service, attack. The goal of the attack is to overwhelm your logic circuits so you pay the ransom. The ransom is your compliance. The strategy, energy defense. The strategy for this chapter is simple but radical, the firewall. You are not bad for feeling F.O.G, you are just unsecured. You have open ports. You have been trained to let anyone with a sad story or an angry voice have root access to your emotions. The protocol. 1. Identify the packet. We will learn to label the F.O.G packet the moment it hits your firewall. This is not sadness. This is guilt malware. 2. Close the port. We will stop negotiating with the malware. You cannot reason with a script. You just close the window. 3. Trace the source. We will ask, who sent this? And what do they want? You stop asking, what is wrong with me? You start asking, who is trying to steal my charge? The moment you shift from victim to sysadmin, the extraction stops. The battery refills. And you get to keep your energy. Antivirus protocols. 1. The red alert label. You can't fix a bug you haven't found. When you feel that tightness in your chest, do not ignore it. Action, verbalize it. Say, this is F.O.G, this is not me. This is the algorithm acting up. Labeling the emotion shifts activity from the amygdala, panic, to the prefrontal cortex, logic. 2. The pause button. F.O.G thrives on urgency. You must decide now. Action, do not agree to anything while inside the fog. The script, memorize this. I need to check my calendar. I will get back to you in 24 hours. Say this even if you have nothing on your calendar. You are buying time for the fog to clear. 3. The who is driving. Check. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to, or because I'm afraid of what happens if I don't? If it's fear, pause. If it's obligation, pause. If it's guilt, pause. Only proceed if the motivation is clean choice. 4. Admin command line, verbatim scripts. Use these lines when the system tries to override you. Scenario, someone demands an immediate answer. Command, I don't make decisions under pressure. If you need a yes/no right now, the answer is no. If you can wait until tomorrow, I'll think about it. Scenario, you feel guilty about saying no. Command, I am not rejecting you, I am protecting my bandwidth. I can't give this the energy it deserves right now. Clean systems. Case study, the good guy gamer. Profile, Eric, 22. F.O.G score, high obligation. The glitch, Eric agreed to raid with his guild every night until 2 a.m. because they need me. He was failing his college classes. He hated the game but felt he couldn't let them down. The patch, the ROI audit. We looked at the cost, failed degree, sleep deprivation. We looked at the return, online friends say tie. The fix, Eric quit the guild. Result, his friends were mad for 2 days, then found a replacement tank. Eric passed his finals. He realized he was NPCing in his own life. Now he is the main character. Case study, the Instagram mom. Profile, Jess, 34. F.O.G score, high guilt fear. The glitch, followed 50 perfect mom accounts. Felt guilty, she wasn't making organic bento boxes. Terrified she was ruining her kids with screen time. The patch, the firewall. She unfollowed every account that triggered guilt. Result, it was like silence. She stopped performing for an invisible audience. She played Legos with her kids instead of staging photos of Legos. Her actual happiness went up 200%. Reboot sequence. This is not about becoming a selfish jerk. It is about becoming efficient. A car driving with the handbrake on, F.O.G, burns out the engine and goes nowhere. When you release the brake, you don't even have to press the gas harder. You just glide. You have so much power inside you. Truly. But it is being siphoned off by ancient programs of fear, obligation, and guilt. Imagine what you could build if you had 100% of your battery available. We are going to find out. Disengage the brake. Let's roll. Run diagnostics. Your mission for today. 1. The packet sniffer, catch 3 bad packets today. I feel guilty for sitting down. Packet found. I feel scared of that email. Packet found. I feel obligated to say yes. Packet found. 2. The shake, do the physical wet dog shake at least once today when you feel stress. Yes, really. Do it. 3. Delete one drain. Uninstall one app or unfollow one person who is purely harvesting your outrage. Worksheet, F.O.G identification. Troubleshooting. System error, but they will be mad at me. Diagnosis. This is the fear of disconnection, legacy code from caveman times. The fix, realize that anger is their emotion processing, not yours. Patch, I am responsible for my actions. I am not responsible for their reaction. Let them be mad. It is data, not a command. System error, I tried to pause but I panicked. Diagnosis, adrenaline override. The fix, physical reboot. Patch, don't try to think your way out. Splash cold water on your face. This triggers the mammalian dive reflex and lowers your heart rate instantly. Reset the hardware first, then run the software. System error, I feel selfish. Diagnosis, corrupt definition file. The fix redefines selfish. Patch, selfish is taking from others. Self-care is recharging yourself so you have something to give. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You are being strategic, not selfish. 2. Reality mapping. Map loading, the map is not the territory. Alfred Korzybski. We do not see things as they are, we see them as we are. Anais Nin. Rendering errors. Put your phone down. Look at your hand. Pinch your skin. Feel the table. Listen to the room. That is the base layer. That is 4K, 60 FPS, zero latency reality. Now think about the global economy. Think about politics. Think about that celebrity scandal on Twitter. Can you touch the economy? No. Can you pinch politics? No. These are simulations. They are low-res renders running on a screen. But I bet you spent 90% of your RAM today processing the simulation. And you spent 10% of your RAM processing your actual life. You are lagging because your GPU is trying to render a world that doesn't exist. It's time to lower your draw distance. It's time to log out of the sim and log back into the base layer. Glitching through the map. The void. There is a terrifying glitch in video game development known as map clipping. It happens when the collision detection fails. You are walking down a hallway, and suddenly your character falls through the floor. You tumble into the gray void, the empty, unrendered space underneath the level. You can look up and see the room you were just in floating above you. You can see the enemies, the items, the goal. But you can't interact with them. You are disconnected from the game physics. You can run, jump, and shoot, but nothing happens. You are just falling forever in a gray hell. Most people described as anxious or dissociated are not mentally ill. They are map clipping. They have fallen through the floor of the present moment and are stuck in the gray void of what if. Case study, user 2, the prepper. John was a client who came to me in 2020. John was a good man, a father of 3, and a classic protector archetype. But John was stuck in the void. I need to be ready, he told me. The supply chains are breaking. The grid is unstable. Civil unrest is coming. John spent 4 hours a day on forums, the cloud. He was reading predictive algorithms about economic collapse, solar flares, and political coups. He was optimizing his loadout for a post-apocalyptic survival horror game. Meanwhile, his actual game, the Sims game he was actually playing, was falling apart. His lawn was overgrown. His wife was lonely because he was always researching. His blood pressure was 160/100. I asked him a question that I ask many high-anxiety players. John, look out the window. Right now. He looked. Tell me what you see. Physically. I see my truck, he said. I see the neighbor Bob washing his car. I see a squirrel. Do you see a civil war? No. Do you see a burning currency? No. Do you see a collapsed grid? No. The streetlights are on. Okay, I said. So the rendering engine of your eyes sees peace. But the simulation in your head sees war. The bandwidth's drain. John wasn't crazy. He was efficiently processing data. The problem was that he was processing corrupt data. He was trying to render a level that didn't exist yet. Every minute John spent fighting imaginary enemies in the cloud was a minute of energy stolen from his base layer. He was doom-scrolling, which is just a fancy word for downloading malware. He was importing fear packets from a server in Washington, D.C. or Moscow and unzipping them in his living room in Ohio. His body, being a prehistoric piece of hardware, didn't know the difference. His body released adrenaline, cortisol, and norepinephrine. It prepared him to fight a tiger. But there was no tiger. There was just Bob washing his car. So that energy had nowhere to go. It turned inward. It became inflammation. It became rage. It became the fog. John was burning 100% of his fuel to fight a phantom, leaving 0% for his wife. The reload. We need to respawn you, I said. We need to pull you back into the map. We established a rule, touch distance. If you can't touch it, you aren't allowed to render it. Can you touch the economy? No. Cloud. Can you touch your checkbook? Yes. Base layer. Fix the checkbook. Can you touch the war? No. Cloud. Can you touch your angry teenager? Yes. Base layer. Talk to him. It was painful. John felt irresponsible for ignoring the global news. If I don't watch the news, how will I be safe? You aren't safe now, I told him. You are dying of stress. John deleted the apps. He set his draw distance to 50 feet, the edge of his property line. He started mowing the lawn. He started cooking dinner. He started playing the level he was actually in. 2 weeks later, he said, "It's quiet." "The world is still loud," I said. "But your server is quiet." He had stopped clipping. He was back on the floor. And for the first time in years, he could actually move his character forward. Server Vs. Local. The rendering limit. Systems Design 101. No system has infinite resources. Your computer has a specific amount of RAM. If you try to run Cyberpunk 2077 and Call of Duty and Photoshop all at once, the machine will crash. The human brain is no different. You have a finite amount of cognitive RAM, glucose and neurotransmitters. The definition of anxiety is simple: attempting to render more data than you have RAM for. Most high F.O.G users are crashing because they are trying to render the entire global server on a local machine. We need to implement reality mapping. We need to partition your hard drive into 2 distinct sectors. Realm A, the base layer local host. Definition: the 3-dimensional space currently occupied by your physical body. Radius, roughly 50 feet around you. Content, the chair you are sitting in. The temperature of the room. The people in the room. The task in front of you. The ache in your knee. Attributes. High resolution, you can see it, touch it, smell it. Low latency, if you drop a cup, it breaks instantly. Real-time physics. Admin access, full. You can clean the room. You can hug the person. You can leave. You have agency here. Protocol, this is where you live. This is where 90% of your energy should be allocated. Realm B, the cloud remote server. Definition: everything that exists outside your immediate sensory experience. Radius, from 50 feet away to the edge of the universe. Content, the news. Social media. The past. The future. What your boss thinks of you. The state of the world. Attributes. Low resolution, it is pixelated. It is hearsay. It is a JPEG of reality, not reality itself. High latency, you can shout at the TV, but the politician can't hear you. Admin access, 0. You are in spectator mode. You can watch, but you cannot affect the outcome. Protocol, this is background noise. It should take up no more than 10% of your energy. The glitch, map confusion. The F.O.G protocol thrives on map confusion. It tricks you into swapping the priority of these 2 realms. It tells you that Realm B, the election, the climate, the market, is urgent. It tells you that Realm A, your breakfast, your breath, your child, is boring. So you ignore your crying child base layer to argue with a stranger on Twitter, the cloud. You ignore the sunset outside your window base layer to read about a storm on the other side of the world, the cloud. You are burning 1,000 units of energy trying to fix Realm B, but since you have 0 admin access in Realm B, you achieve nothing. You just generate heat, anxiety. Meanwhile, Realm A rots. The child cries harder. The sunset fades. The fix, close the connection. The strategy is technical and precise. Disconnect from the server. You must treat your attention like a secure facility. You do not allow unauthorized data packets from Realm B to enter Realm A unless they have a warrant. Does this problem exist in this room? Can I fix this problem with my hands? Is this happening now? If the answer is no, it is a cloud event. Minimize window. Return to local host. Graphics settings. 1. The draw distance setting. In video games, draw distance is how far you can see. If it's too high, the game lags. Action, lower your life's draw distance. Don't look at the future of the country, too far. Look at my living room, close. If you can't touch it, don't render it. 2. The Realm audit. Look at your quest log, to-do list, worry list. Tag every quest. Base, I can physically do this, fix sync, call mom. Cloud, I can only think about this, election, economy, celebrity drama. Action, delete all cloud quests. You literally cannot complete them. They are bugged. 3. Admin command line, verbatim scripts. Use these lines when the cloud tries to hijack you. Scenario, a friend tries to drag you into a political rant. Command, I'm in offline mode for politics right now. It drains my battery too fast. Let's talk about shared hobby instead. Scenario, you are worrying about a what-if scenario. Command, error. Invalid parameter. That is a cloud event. I am currently operating in the base layer. I will address that data only if it downloads to my physical location. Scenario, news overload. Command, disconnecting from server. I need to run a local diagnostic. Then execute the touchgrass protocol. Player logs. Case study, the laggy voter. Profile, Mike 50. Glitch, Mike watched 24-hour news. He was running a high-intensity simulation of national politics, in his head 24/7. Consequence, high blood pressure. Snapped at his grandkids. He was lagging in real life because his RAM was used up by the news. The patch, we lowered his settings. He was allowed to check news for 20 mins a day, low raise. Result, his bandwidth returned. He started woodworking again, base layer. He realized that knowing about every disaster on Earth didn't actually help fix them. Case study, the startup founder. Profile, Sarah, 28. Glitch, obsessed with Realm C, the future. What if AI takes my job in 5 years? The patch, the 5-minute rule. Can you patch the AI problem in 5 minutes? No. Action, she focused on what she could build today. Result, she launched her product. Her competitors were still debating the future on Twitter, stuck in the cloud, while she was getting paid in the base layer. High definition. Real-life base layer is high definition. It smells like rain. It tastes like coffee. It feels like a hug. The graphics are incredible. The shadow world, the cloud, is pixelated. It is loud, but it is flat. It has no smell. It has no warmth. It is a shitty render of a scary world. When you leave the cloud, you aren't missing out. You are upgrading your experience. You are trading a nightmare simulation for a beautiful reality. The server needs you here, in the room. Not AFK in your head. Log back in. Map update. Your mission for today. 1. Sort your loot, look at your top 3 worries. Are they base layer, actionable? Or cloud, abstract? 2. Delete the cache. If it's a cloud worry, say delete. Strike it through. 3. Physics check, spend 5 minutes offline. Touch grass, literally. Resync with the server. Worksheet, reality sorter. Troubleshooting. System error, but I need to stay informed. Diagnosis, the responsible citizen bug. The fix, distinguish between data and drama. Patch, being informed takes 5 minutes a day. Being obsessed takes 5 hours. I will read the headlines data and skip the opinion pieces, drama. Drama is just malware wrapped in a news skin. System error, I feel guilty ignoring the world's pain. Diagnosis, empathy glitch. The fix, energy physics. Patch, my suffering does not help their suffering. If I bankrupt my own energy, I become another person who needs help. If I stay charged, I can actually do something useful, donate, volunteer, instead of just feeling bad. System error, my partner lives in the cloud. Diagnosis, network incompatibility. The fix, set local boundaries. Patch, you cannot force them to log off. But you can mute the channel. Script, I love you, but I can't run this conversation right now. My RAM is full. Can we switch topics? 3. Energetic quantum. Power level critical. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Attributed to Albert Einstein. You have a limited number of F***cs to give. Pay attention to where and who you give them to. Mark Manson. Low battery warning. Imagine you are a character in a video game. In the top right corner of the screen, there is a green bar. Stamina, 100-100. You need this stamina to move, to fight, to build, to love. When it hits 0-100, you don't die. You just stop. You face plant. You can't sprint. You can't cast spells. Every morning, you wake up with a full bar. But here is the catch. The game is rigged. You wake up. -5 stamina, checking email. You read a scary headline. -15 stamina, fear. You feel bad about skipping the gym. Stamina, guilt. You argue with a stranger on Twitter. Stamina, obligation to be right. It is 10:00 a.m. Your bar is at 30-100. And you haven't even started your actual main quest yet. You are trying to fight a boss battle with 30% HP. No wonder you are losing. Power drain analysis. Nikola Tesla said the universe is made of energy, frequency, and vibration. He wasn't talking about crystals, magic, or mysticism. He was talking about physics. He was describing the fundamental operating system of reality. Think of your brain like a high-end computer processor, CPU. It has a limited capacity for computations per second. When a computer runs too many heavy programs at once, Photoshop, Chrome with 50 tabs, a video render, what happens? The fan begins to scream. The aluminum case burns to the touch. The screen stutters and freezes. It's overheating. I worked with a woman named Brenda. She was a super volunteer. She was the president of the PTA, the organizer of the church bake sale, the friend everyone called at 2 a.m. On paper, she looked like a saint. In reality, she was a prisoner. She helped everyone, but she didn't help out of joy. She helped out of guilt. Her internal script running 24/7 was, if I don't help, I'm a bad person. If I say no, they will abandon me. Running this guilt program takes massive CPU power. It is heavy, bloated legacy code. Brenda wasn't tired because the physical work of baking cookies was hard. She was tired because she was psychologically mining crypto for someone else in her background processes. She was giving away her voltage to people who didn't even bother to plug in. When she came to me, she was burnt out, resentful, and getting sick every month. We didn't tell her to become a hermit. We didn't tell her to stop helping. We told her to stop leaking. She switched her operating motivation from I have to, obligation/low frequency/high drag, to I want to, choice/high frequency/zero drag. If she wanted to bake cookies because she loved baking. Green light. If she felt she had to bake cookies or the school would collapse. Red light. She did the same amount of work, but she generated zero heat. She stopped overheating because she stopped running the malware. Everything is energy. And yours is leaking. Background process audit. To reclaim your energy, we must first define it. We aren't talking about spiritual energy in a vague sense. We are talking about your EQ, energetic quantum. This is your life force. It is the biochemical and electrical capacity you wake up with every morning. 1. It is finite, the battery. You do not have unlimited power. This is the most dangerous lie of modern productivity culture. You can do it all. No, you can't. Every decision burns glucose. Every worry burns voltage. Every act of self-control depletes your neural reserves. You wake up with, say, 100 units of charge. If you spend 80% of your battery on Realm B, doom scrolling, worrying about the economy, fighting with strangers on the internet, you have exactly 20% left for your actual life, your career, your children, your art. This is why you snap at your kids in the evening. You aren't a bad parent. You are a depleted battery. 2. It is currency, the coins. Treat your energy like hard currency, Bitcoin or gold. Would you walk down the street throwing $100 bills at pigeons? Would you hand your wallet to a stranger because they looked annoying? No. You guard your money fiercely. So why do you throw your precious attention at energy vampires? Why do you give your mental bandwidth to a rude comment or a minor traffic inconvenience? Attention is payment. Every time you pay attention to something, you are buying it. You are investing in it. Make sure you get a receipt. Make sure the return on that investment is worth your life force. 3. Usage versus leakage. There is a difference between spending energy and leaking it. Usage the flow, spending energy to build something meaningful, work, art, love, exercise. This creates a flow state. Paradoxically, spending energy this way often refills the tank. You feel tired but satisfied. Leakage the friction, losing energy to resistance, worry, guilt, resentment, shoulds, validation seeking. This is waste. It is pure heat loss. You feel drained, resentful, and hollow. The strategy, close the tabs. We are going to find every background process stealing your RAM, every unmade decision, every toxic relationship, every open loop, and we are going to click End Task. We are going to stop the bleeding. Energy management mode. 1. The energy budget. You have 100 coins for today. Before you agree to anything, check the price tag. Work project, 40 coins. Playing with kids, 30 coins. Gym, 10 coins. Leftover, 20 coins. Then a friend calls to gossip and complain for an hour about the same problem they've had for 5 years. Cost, 30 coins. Result, insufficient funds. If you take that call, you go into energy debt. You will pay for it with your sleep, your health, or your patience. Action, say no. Not because you are mean, but because you are broke. 2. Low power mode. Your phone automatically switches to low power mode at 20%. You should too. When you feel the red bar, irritation, brain fog, apathy. Action, activate low power mode immediately. Disconnect, airplane mode on phone. No new inputs. Freeze decisions, I am not making any choices until I recharge. Basic bias, focus only on biological inputs, food, water, walking, sleep. Do not try to run high-intensity apps arguments, creative projects, taxes while in the red. You will crash the system. 3. The vampire audit. Identify the specific background apps draining your battery. The person who drains you just by walking in the room. The media, what app makes you feel worse after using it? The task, what open loop have you been avoiding for 3 months? Action, close the app. Unsubscribe. Block. Finish the task. Stop the leak. 4. Admin command line, verbatim scripts. Use these scripts to protect your battery. Scenario, an energy vampire wants to vent to you. Command, I love you, but I don't have the mental bandwidth to process this right now. I can't be your therapist on this topic anymore. Scenario, overwhelmed at work. Command, I'm in low power mode today. I'm focusing on one critical task and pushing everything else to tomorrow. I need to recharge. Scenario, social invitation when drained. Command, I have to pass. My social battery is at 0%. I need a quiet night to reboot. Have fun. Battery life tests. Case study, the decision fatigue CEO. Profile, Alicia, 38. Tech founder. Glitch, by 2 p.m., she was a zombie. She made bad choices because her battery was empty. The fix, the budget. She realized she was spending 40 coins every morning reading emails in bed. She changed the protocol, no phone until 9 a.m. Result, She arrived at work with 100 stamina. Her revenue went up 20% because she stopped wasting her prime voltage on spam. Case study, the exhausted dad. Profile, Ben 32. Glitch, felt guilty for being tired. Tried to force himself to play with his son, overclocking the CPU. He ended up snapping at the kid. The fix, low power mode. He instituted a 15-minute system reboot, nap podcasts in his car before entering the house. Result, he walked in with 40% battery instead of 5%. He gave his son 2 hours of quality play instead of 3 hours of grumpy presence. Full charge. Imagine you have a wallet that refills with $1,000 every morning. But if you don't spend it, it burns up at night. Your energy is more valuable than money. Money can be printed. Time and energy cannot. Your energy is your ability to create, to build, to love, to change the game. When you seal the leaks, you become dangerous. You become a power plant walking around a world of empty batteries. People will be drawn to you. They will ask, how do you do it? You just smile. I just stopped throwing my gold in the trash. Protect your light. It's the only thing you truly own. Power-saving settings. Your mission for today. 1. Check your battery, right now 0-100. What is your charge level? 2. Find one leak. Identify one thing, person, task that drains you faster than it should. 3. Recharge. Do one thing for 10 minutes that adds energy, music, silence, walking. Worksheet, the energy ledger. Troubleshooting. System error. I feel guilty saying I'm broke on energy. Diagnosis, the infinite resource delusion. The fix, physics check. Patch, I am biological, not mechanical. Even machines need to recharge. Admitting I am tired is not a weakness. It is accurate system reporting. I am protecting the asset, me. System error, everything is draining me. Diagnosis, system failure/burnout. The fix, radical rest, safe mode. Patch, if everything costs too much, your battery is damaged. You need deep rest. Cancel everything non-essential for 48 hours. Sleep, stare at a wall, do nothing. You need to recalibrate your baseline. System error, people call me selfish when I enforce boundaries. Diagnosis, vampire backlash. The fix, consider the source. Patch, of course they are mad. I cut off their food supply. Their anger is not evidence that I am wrong. It is evidence that they were feeding on me. Let them be hungry. They will find another host. 4. Propaganda machine. Algorithm alert. The technotronic era involves the gradual appearance of a more controlled society. It will be possible to assert almost continuous surveillance over every citizen. Zbigniew Brzezinski. Attention is vitality. It connects you with others. It makes you eager. Stay eager. Susan Sontag. The algorithm trap. Imagine a factory. But instead of making cars, this factory makes outrage. Instead of smokestacks, it has algorithms. You walk past this factory every day, social media. And every day, a man in a suit, the algo, hands you a free sample. Here, he says. Taste this anger. It's trending. Here, he says. Taste this panic. We customized it just for you based on your browsing history. You eat it. You feel sick. You feel scared. But the next day, you scroll back for more. Why? Because the factory isn't just making smoke. It is mining you. You are the raw material. Your attention is the gold. This isn't news. This is a DDoS attack on your nervous system. And you are clicking accept all cookies. Infinite scroll glitch. There used to be a time where news ended. You came home from work. You ate dinner. You watched the 6 p.m. news. At 6:30 p.m., the news anchor said, "Good night." The screen went dark. The server went offline. You had the rest of the night to enter Realm A, your life. You talked to your kids. You read book. You slept. Then came the infinite scroll. Social media engineers realize something dark about human biology. We are wired to look for danger. A caveman who stares at a sunset might get eaten by a lion. A caveman who stares at a rustling bush survives. We are descendants of the paranoid. So the algorithm stopped showing you cat videos and started showing you World War III speculation, economic collapse, and why your neighbor hates you. It wasn't personal. It was code. It realized that fear keeps you on the page 400% longer than joy. Anger is the most profitable metric in the history of advertising. I watched my grandfather go from a calm gardener to a raging soldier in his own living room. He watched 24-hour news. He scrolled Facebook feeds, carefully curated to terrify him. He thought he was informed. Actually, he was infected. The malware used his own dopamine loop against him. It gave him a tiny hit of knowing, dopamine, followed by a massive hit of terror, cortisol. He became a rat in a digital cage, pressing the lever, getting shocked, but pressing it again because he was afraid to stop. He died angry at people he never met, about problems he couldn't solve. This isn't just about productivity. This is about your soul. Don't let the malware run your life. DDoS defense. The propaganda machine works on one simple principle, the engagement trap. It is a distributed denial of service, DDoS, attack on your attention. If you are engaging, clicking, commenting, sharing, rage posting, they are making money. If you're peaceful, they are going broke. The mechanism, cognitive malware. How does it infect a smart person like you? 1. Phishing the hook. They write a headline designed to bypass your prefrontal cortex logic and hit your amygdala lizard brain. You won't believe what X said. Or, this new law will destroy everything. 2. Injection the payload. Once you click, they inject the payload. Fear, obligation, and guilt. They frame complex problems as us versus them wars. 3. The doom loop retention. You get scared. Your brain seeks safety. The algorithm tells you that more information equals safety. So you keep scrolling. But the information isn't safety, it's just more fear. You scroll until you are numb. The strategy, firewall configuration. You cannot fix the internet. You cannot outsmart an algorithm with 10,000 PhD engineers behind it. You can only disconnect. We are going to put you on a strict information diet. Garbage in equals garbage out. If you feed your brain terror, you will output anxiety. Light in equals light out. If you feed your brain art, philosophy, and connection, you will output joy. We are going to build a firewall. We are going to whitelist the good and blacklist the bad. You are the admin. It is time to secure the network. Admin tools. 1. Unfollow everything, the hard reset. Yes, everything that lowers your frequency. News outlets, political rage bait, influencers who make you feel poor, fat, unsuccessful. Action, go to your social media right now. Scroll. If you see a post and feel heavy, F.O.G, unfollow. If you see a post and feel light, joy learning, keep. Don't worry about missing out. If it's truly important, your mom or your coworker will tell you about it within 24 hours. Curate your feed until it is boring or beautiful. 2. Lateral reading, the antivirus. Stop reading vertically, scrolling down one angry article. Read laterally, checking the source code. Action when you see a shocking headline, X wants to ban Y. Do not accept the packet. Open a new tab. Search, is headline true? Usually you will find it as clickbait, exaggeration, or missing context. This 10-second pause engages your prefrontal cortex, admin mode, and stops the amygdala, panic mode. Verify before you feel. 3. No news before noon, admin hours. Protect your boot-up sequence. If you check Twitter, Instagram at 7 a.m., you are letting the world's chaos infect your operating system before you even brush your teeth. Action, buy a physical alarm clock, $15. Charge your phone in the kitchen. Own your morning. Do not sell your first hour of consciousness to Mark Zuckerberg. 4. Admin command line, verbatim scripts. Use these scripts when people try to infect you with data dumping. Scenario: coworker wants to rant about the news. Command: I haven't read that yet. I'm on a news detox this month to lower my cortisol. How was your weekend, though? Scenario: family member sends you a rage bait link. Command: do not reply to the link. Wow, that looks intense. Anyway, did you see the photos of the grandkids I sent? Redirect to base layer. Scenario: a fight starts in the group chat. Command: mute notifications 8 hours. Do not engage. Do not announce your departure. Just exit the room. User bans. Case study: the loop breaker. Profile: James, 29. Day trader. Bug: James had 4 screens of financial news running all day. He thought he was informed. Result: he was jumpy. He made panic trades based on headlines. He lost money. Lag. The fix: he turned off the TVs. He only read the end-of-day report batch processing. Result: he missed the noise but caught the signal. His profit increased because he wasn't reacting to every glitch in the matrix. Case study: the angry mom. Profile: Karen, 45. Bug: consumed political memes for 2 hours a day. Felt the world was going to hell. The fix: the hard reset. She deleted Facebook from her phone. Result: withdrawal symptoms for 3 days. Then, silence. On day 5, she noticed the birds singing. On day 7, she realized the world was actually fine. The global fire was just a JPEG on a screen. Her actual house was cool. Source code. Silence is not empty. It is full of bandwidth. When you turn off the machine, you might feel bored. That boredom is precious. It is your RAM clearing out. It is the space where new ideas, original code, grow. Imagine hearing your own voice for the first time in years. Not the voice of the news anchor. Not the voice of the influencer. Your voice. What does it say? It probably speaks of simple things. Of building. Of loving. That is the base layer. The rest is just noise. Turn down the static. Turn up the signal. System purge. Your mission for today. 1. The purge: unfollow 5 accounts that stress you out. Right now. Do it. 2. Phone jail: buy a physical alarm clock today. Tonight, your phone sleeps in the kitchen. 3. The silence test: drive or walk for 10 minutes with no inputs. No radio. No podcast. Just process the base layer. Worksheet: information diet log. Troubleshooting. System error: I tried to unfollow news, but I feel anxious missing out. Diagnosis: withdrawal symptoms. The fix: the digest method. Patch: FOMO, fear of missing out, is real withdrawal. Wean yourself off. Action: subscribe to one weekly email newsletter that summarizes the news calmly, e.g. 1440 or the pour-over. Read it on Friday. Ignore everything else. You will be 99% as informed with 1% of the stress. System error: my job requires me to be on social media. Diagnosis: environmental hazard. The fix: professional distancing. Patch: use a specialized tool like Buffer or Hootsuite to post. Do not use the native app. Patch: install Newsfeed Eradicator extensions on your browser. Rule: I am here to upload, not to download. Creator mode, not consumer mode. System error: I keep clicking the app automatically. Diagnosis: muscle memory glitch. The fix: pattern interrupt. Patch: delete the app from your home screen. Or log out every time you close it. Make the login process annoying. Introduce friction. Your brain is lazy. If it takes 10 seconds to log in, it will often just give up and let you do something clearer. 5. Leak of fear. Latency detected. I am an old man and have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened. Mark Twain. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. Winston Churchill. Lag detection. Let's talk about lag. In gaming, lag happens when your computer tries to process too much data at once. Specifically, it happens when your GPU tries to render a level that hasn't loaded yet. Your brain does the exact same thing. We call it fear. Fear is not danger. Danger is a tiger in the room base layer. Fear is your brain trying to pre-render the future. What if I get fired next month? Rendering level 4. What if she leaves me next year? Rendering level 10. What if the economy crashes? Rendering the sequel. You are standing in level 1 today. But your RAM is 100% occupied trying to render level 10. So what happens? You lag in level 1. You freeze. You stutter. You crash. You are ruining your present because you are obsessed with a future that hasn't even been coded yet. Predictive algorithm fail. I worked with a musician named Tom. Tom had a final boss level coming up, a major audition for a symphony that could launch his career. For 3 weeks before the audition, Tom stopped living in reality realm A. He started living in a bad simulation. His brain, a powerful predictive engine, started running a program called Fail Scenario, EXE, on an infinite loop. He pictured his fingers seizing up. He pictured the judges exchanging judgmental looks. He pictured the email of rejection. He pictured his career, game over screen. He practiced, but he practiced with lag. Physically, he was playing the scales. But energetically, his RAM was busy processing a disaster that hadn't happened yet. His hands were stiff. His breath was shallow. He was paying the energetic cost of failure before he had even failed. By the day of the audition, his battery was at 10%. He walked in, trembled, and he glitched. He missed the landing on a simple arpeggio. See, he told me later. I knew it would happen. I predicted it. Tom, I said, you didn't predict the future. You coded it. You ran the crash simulation so many times that your hardware just executed the script. You trained your nervous system to fail. If Tom had stayed in the base layer, just playing the notes, feeling the keys, staying in the room, he would have walked in with full power. He burned his GPU on a level that didn't exist yet. Fear is not a warning. It is a bug. Latency reduction. The strategy here is latency reduction. In online gaming, latency, or ping, is the delay between your input and the server's response. If you're playing with high latency, you are reacting to things that happened 2 seconds ago. You are dead before you even see the bullet. Fear creates energetic latency. Your brain has a predictive engine. Its biological job is to guess what happens next so you don't die. But the engine is buggy. It has a negative bias. It assumes every shadow is a monster. It assumes every unread email is a lawsuit. It assumes every silence from a partner is a breakup. Evolutionarily, this made sense. It is better to treat a stick like a snake than a snake like a stick. But in the modern world, this bias destroys your performance. It causes you to suffer pre-trauma. You feel the shame of being fired before you are even called into the office. You feel the sting of rejection before you even ask the question. You feel the grief of loss while everyone is still alive. You are paying interest on a debt you haven't even taken out yet. The fix: stop pre-rendering. We need to cap your frame rate to the now. We need to tell your brain, error. Data not found. Stop rendering. When you only render the frame you are in, you have infinite processing power available to win the game. Frame rate optimization. 1. The data not found protocol. When fear starts telling you a vivid story, you're going to fail and then X will happen, interrupt the algorithm. Fear sounds like truth. It isn't. It is prediction. Action: label it as missing data. Say, error, data not found. Remind yourself, I do not have the code for next week yet. I only have the code for today. Force a system halt on the prediction. 2. Multipath simulations. If your brain insists on predicting, because it is an anxious machine, force it to run multiple scenarios, not just the crash. If you imagine the crash, you must also imagine the win. Sim 1 fear, I fail and everyone laughs. Sim 2 hope, I succeed and everyone cheers. Sim 3, neutral realistic. It goes okay, I make one mistake, nobody cares, and I get a sandwich after. By forcing your brain to see three paths, you prove that the future is unwritten code. This breaks the paralysis. 3. Scheduled maintenance, worry time. Don't let background updates slow down your gameplay. Anxiety tries to run updates in the middle of your boss fight. Action, schedule maintenance mode, e.g. 4:00 p.m., 4:15 p.m. If a scary thought pops up at 10 a.m., say, that is a valid concern. Queued for maintenance at 4 p.m. Write it down on a post-it. Then get back to the game. Usually, by 4 p.m., the bug has fixed itself, or you realize it wasn't a bug at all. 4. Admin command line, verbatim scripts. Use these scripts to silence the internal critic. Scenario, brain says, what if this goes wrong? Command, I'll cross that bridge when I get to the river. Right now, I'm just packing the car. Focus on immediate action. Scenario, overwhelmed by a big project. Command, I am only required to render the next 10 minutes. I can handle 10 minutes. Scenario, panic about an upcoming conversation. Command, I trust future me to handle that conversation. Present me as off-duty. Simulation reports. Case study, the anxious traveler. Profile, Gen 26. Glitch, terrified of flying. Her brain pre-rendered a plane crash in 4K resolution for a week before every trip. Consequence, she arrived at the airport totally drained, 0-100 stamina. The patch, data not found. Gen, the plane is going to crash. New code, error. I am sitting in a taxi. I am not in a plane. I will deal with the plane when I am in the plane. Result, she stopped trying to fly the plane from her living room. She saved her energy for the actual travel day. Case study, the entrepreneur. Profile, Marcus 40. Glitch, afraid to launch. What if nobody buys it? Sim 1. The patch, multipath simulation. We forced him to code Sim 2, what if 100 people buy it? And Sim 3, what if nobody buys it but I learn how to fix the ads? Result, he realized the crash was just one of many possible endings. The paralyzing certainty vanished. He launched. Real-time rendering. Don't lag out. The present moment is the only place where the graphics are real. It is the only place where the controls work. You cannot control the future. You can only hallucinate it. When you stop trying to render the next level, a strange thing happens. The current level becomes high definition. The colors pop. The audio clears. You see the path. Stop betting against yourself. Stop running the crash simulator. Play the game you are in right now. You are ready. The glitch breaker. Your mission for today. 1. Catch the glitch. Notice when you are pre-rendering a disaster. Stop. Say, error. Data not found. 2. Run 3 sims. If you are worried about an event, write down 3 outcomes, bad, good, neutral. 3. Queue updates. If a worry won't leave, schedule it for 4:00 p.m. Don't let it run in the background now. Worksheet, the simulation breaker. Troubleshooting. System error, I can't stop the thoughts. Diagnosis, trying to suppression. The fix, observation mode. Patch, don't try to stop the thoughts. That's like trying to stop a train by standing on the tracks. Action, step off the tracks. Watch the train go by. Say, there goes a scary thought. Interesting. Disidentify. You are the watcher, not the thought. System error, the fear feels physical chest tight sweating. Diagnosis, sympathetic nervous system activation. The fix, biohack. Patch, you cannot think your way out of a physical reaction. You must use physical tools. Action, box breathing in 4, hold 4, out 4, hold 4. Or cold water on wrists. Hack the hardware to bring the software back online. System error, what if my intuition is warning me? Diagnosis, confusing data versus. Fear. The fix, the tone check. Patch, intuition is quiet, calm, and specific. Don't go down that alley. Fear is loud, frantic, and vague. Everything is wrong. Action, if it's screaming, it's fear. If it's whispering, it's intuition. 6. Weight of obligation. Memory full. The hardest choices in life aren't between good and bad. They're between the life we have and the life we could have. Unknown. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs. Bloatware scan. Let's talk about bloatware. When you buy a new computer, it comes with junk pre-installed. Free trial antivirus. Candy Crush. Weather widget. You didn't ask for it. You don't use it. But it runs in the background, eating your RAM and slowing you down. In your life, this is called obligation. Hey, can you help me move? Pop-ups. You should really come to the baby shower. Notification. Be a good son. Terms of service. You say yes because you clicked accept without reading the contract. Your operating system is cluttered with other people's apps. You are running slow. You are overheating. It is time to go to Task Manager and click End Task. Terms of service violation. System bloat. In computing, bloatware refers to software that comes pre-installed on a new computer. You didn't ask for it. You don't use it. It sits in the background, consuming memory, showing pop-ups, and slowing down the machine. You can't just delete it. It's often protected by admin permissions that you don't seem to have. Obligation is emotional bloatware. It is a suite of programs installed by your parents, your culture, and your peer group. Be nice, exe. Don't rock the boat, app. Everyone must like me, DMG. This code runs 24/7. It scans every interaction for potential conflict and autocorrects your behavior to be pleasing. The problem? It uses 60% of your RAM. You are so busy running the nice guy girl simulation that you don't have enough memory left to run your own life. Case study, user 6, the server. David was a nice guy. In fact, he was the nicest guy. He was the stable build of his friend group. Need a ride to the airport at 4 a.m. Call David. Need someone to help you move a couch. Call David. Need emotional validation for your bad relationship choices. Call David. David came to me because he was depressed. I feel empty, he said. I give everything to everyone, and I get nothing back. I looked at his logs. David wasn't depressed. He was overheating. He was functioning as a dedicated server for everyone else's applications. He was hosting his mother's anxiety, his boss's disorganization, and his friend's drama. His fan was spinning at 4,000 RPM, but he wasn't processing any of his own data. The compliance coins. Why do you do it? I asked. I don't know, he said. I just want to be a good friend. That's the user interface talking, I said. Let's look at the code. We dug deeper. We found the source logic. David believed that love was a transaction. He was buying connection with compliance coins. If I say yes to the ride, they will like me. Plus 10 coins. If I say no, they will abandon me. Banned from server. He was terrified of the terms of service violation. He believed that if he stopped serving, he would cease to exist. The stress test. I gave David a command, the stress test. I want you to decline the next 3 updates, I said. I want you to say no to 3 requests that you don't want to do. David looked physically ill. They'll hate me. Let's test that hypothesis, I said. Let's see if the server crashes. Test 1. Friend, hey man, can you watch my dog this weekend? I'm going away. David, sweating, typing slowly. I can't this weekend. I have plans. His plan was to sit on his couch and stare at the wall. He waited for the banhammer. He waited for the angry text. Friend, no worries. I'll ask Sarah. Test 2. Mom, you need to come to Aunt Linda's birthday. David, I can't make it, Mom. Send her my love. Mom, oh. Okay, well, we'll miss you. Test 3. Boss, can you stay late to finish the report? David, I can't tonight. I'll hit it first thing in the morning. Boss, okay. The reboot. David came back to the next session, looking confused. Nothing happened, he said. Exactly, I said. I thought I was the main server, he said. I thought if I went offline, their whole system would collapse. You aren't the main server, I told him. You were just a convenient Wi-Fi hotspot. When the hotspot is down, they just find another signal. This wasn't an insult. It was liberation. David realized he had been paying compliance coins for a subscription he didn't even need. He stopped being a nice guy. He started being a real guy. He uninstalled the bloatware. And suddenly, he had 60% more RAM to build a life worth living. Task Manager. Input-output error. Obligation is a corruption of your input-output, I/O port. In a healthy system, there is a firewall that checks every incoming request. Request, can you do X? Firewall, do I have the resources? Do I want to? Is this high priority? Decision, yes, no. In an F.O.G infected system, the firewall is disabled. The default setting is set to accept all cookies. Request, can you do X? Command, auto-accept, exe. Result, yes. You say yes before you even check your resources. You find yourself agreeing to things, and then 5 seconds later thinking, why did I do that? This is an automated script. You are not choosing. You are executing. Rewriting permissions. We are going to open your user permissions and change the default setting. We are going to distinguish between 3 types of files on your drive. 1. System files, the have-tos. These are tasks required for the OS to run. Paying taxes. Feeding your children. Going to work if you need money. The hack, convert, have to into choose to. If you do these tasks with resentment, they are malware. They slow you down. You must rewrite the code line. Old, I have to go to work or I'll be homeless. Slave mentality. New, I choose to exchange my labor for gold so I can build my kingdom. Player mentality. Now it is a quest, not a bug. 2. Junk files, the shoulds. These are the files that clog your drive. I should go to that party. I should listen to my coworker's 45-minute rant. I should pretend to like this music. The hack, permanent deletion. If you delete these files, nothing bad happens. The system actually runs faster. We will learn the graceful no. See tactics. 3. User files, the want-tos. These are the files you actually created. Your hobbies. Your rest. Your people. Currently, these files are being overwritten by junk files because your drive is full. By deleting the junk obligation, you reclaim the space for the user joy. The default no. The most powerful strategy update you will install is the default no. Most people live with a default yes. If they can't find a good excuse to say no, they have to say yes. I can't say no, I'm not doing anything that night. This is backwards. Your time is your RAM. It is 100% allocated to you by default. You do not need an excuse to keep your own resources. You need a reason to give them away. New protocol. The answer is no by default. The incoming request must provide a compelling reason to change the status to yes. Do I want to do this? Does this energize me? If not, end task. End task protocol. 1. The default no setting. Most people have auto-accept turned on. Action, change your default to no. If you are asked to do something, the automatic answer is no, or at least let me check. You can always change a no to a yes later. But you can rarely change a yes to a no without damage. 2. The golden pause. When asked, can you help me move on Saturday? Do not answer. Wait 3 seconds. This silence is not awkward. It is you checking your RAM. Then say, I need to check my schedule. 3. Admin command line, the 3 no's. Use these verbatim scripts to uninstall obligation. Level 1, the soft no for friends family. Command, I'd love to see you, but I'm running on low battery this week and need to recharge. Let's look at next month. Level 2, the hard no for work acquaintances. Command, I can't commit to that right now. My plate is full. Taking this on would compromise my current projects. Level 3, the system error no for persistent pushers. Command, the answer is no. I have a hard rule about not working on weekends. I can't break protocol. Uninstalled apps. Case study, the bloated volunteer. Profile, Linda 55. Glitch, Linda was running 4 extra apps called church committees. She was overheating. The fix, uninstall. She quit 3 of them. She kept the one she loved, the food bank. Result, she showed up to the food bank with high-resolution joy. The other committees found new users who actually wanted to be there. Lesson, your resentment is a bug, not a feature. Case study, the always-on employee. Profile, Tom 24. Glitch turned on always available mode. Stayed late every day because he should. The fix set admin hours. He started leaving at 5 p.m. on the dot to go to the gym, system maintenance. Result, his boss respected him more. He seemed managed and disciplined. The always-on guy looks buggy. The boundary guy looks like a leader. Clean install. Imagine a hard drive with 0 bloatware. Every file on it is there because you put it there. Even the hard files, taxes, dentist, are there because you chose the outcome, freedom, health. When you clean your disk, you run fast. You boot up instantly. You don't crash. You are a sovereign system. Every no you say to a junk file is a yes to your core process. Protect your operating system. You are the admin. Act like it. Bloatware audit. Your mission for today. 1. Bloatware audit, find one app, task commitment, running in the background you hate. Uninstall it, quick cancel. 2. Binary test, someone asks you something today. Use the binary logic. If not a hell yes, 1, it is a no, 0. 3. Permissions, say no to a small request without giving an excuse. I can't. See if the world ends. Worksheet, task manager. Troubleshooting. System error, they will think I'm lazy. Diagnosis, the validation glitch. The fix, reframe efficiency. Patch, busy is not a virtue. Busy is a design flaw. I am not lazy, I am efficient. Resting is part of the work. System error, I said no and they got angry. Diagnosis, boundary resistance. The fix, the force field. Patch, their anger is proof that the boundary was necessary. If they were respectful, they would have accepted the no. The fact that they are angry means they were benefiting from my lack of boundaries. Hold the line. System error, I feel like a bad person. Diagnosis, misidentified identity. The fix, role separation. Patch, I am a good person. I am just a person with limited time. Saying no to them is saying yes to my own sanity. I choose sanity. 7. Anchor of guilt. File corrupted. Guilt is to the spirit what pain is to the body. David R. Hawkins. You cannot change what you are, only what you do. Philip Pullman. Corrupt save file. Let's talk about corrupt save files. In a game, this is when you try to load a level, but the data is broken. The game freezes. You can't move forward. You are stuck in a glitchy loop of a level you already beat. This is guilt. It is a corrupt memory file. You are trying to replay a level, the past, that doesn't exist anymore. I shouldn't have said that in 2019. Error, level not found. I was a bad parent in 2015. Error, data read failed. You are burning 20% of your CPU trying to fix a bug in a version of the software that you don't even run anymore. It is time to delete the save. It is time to run the new update. Legacy code errors. The time loop. In programming, an infinite loop occurs when a piece of code runs over and over again without an exit condition. It consumes 100% of the CPU, freezing the entire machine. Guilt is an infinite loop. It is an attempt to rewrite a file that has already been read-only locked. The file is the past. Your brain, for some evolutionary reason, believes that if it replays a painful memory enough times, it can change the outcome. Replay memory, I yelled at my kids. Add emotion, shame. Result, I am a bad parent. Repeat. This is not moral reflection. This is a logic error. You are trying to patch a version of the software, UV10, that doesn't exist anymore. Case study, User 7, the time traveler. Sarah was a high-level executive at a nonprofit. She saved whales for a living. But Sarah was haunted by a ghost process. 5 years ago, during a critical fundraising week, she missed her daughter's school play. Her daughter was 8 at the time. She is 13 now. Every time Sarah looked at her daughter, a pop-up window appeared. Parenting Fail 2019, EXE. I'm a bad mother, she told me. Her voice was flat, mechanical. She had been running this script for 1,825 days. She was paying server costs, emotional energy, on a website that no one was visiting. Her daughter had forgotten about it. Her husband had forgotten about it. But Sarah was still paying the hosting fees. The version conflict. Let me ask you something, I said. What version of Sarah are we running today? What do you mean? Well, are you the same person you were in 2019? Do you know more now? Are you stronger? Yes, she said. I've prioritized my family a lot more since then. Okay. So that was Sarah V10. You are running Sarah V50. I drew a timeline on the whiteboard. You are trying to force Sarah V10 to behave like Sarah V50. But V10 didn't have the priorities patch installed yet. She was running on buggy code. She did her best with the RAM she had. Sarah started to cry. Not the grinding tears of guilt, but the soft tears of release. Blaming Sarah V10 for crashing is like yelling at Windows 95 for not running 4K video, I said. It's not fair. And more importantly, it's a waste of energy. The corrupt registry. We identified that her guilt wasn't keeping her good. It was actually making her worse. Because she was so busy beating herself up for the past, she wasn't present in the moment. She was physically with her daughter, but mentally she was in a time machine, fixing 2019. She was lagging in real life because her ping to the past was too high. We initiated a corrupt registry clean. We wrote down the crime. I missed the play. We wrote down the sentence. 5 years of self-flagellation. We asked, is the debt paid? Sarah looked at the paper. Yes. I think it is. Okay. Shift plus delete. She burned the paper. She stopped trying to patch the ghost. And for the first time in 5 years, she truly looked at her daughter, not as a reminder of her failure, but as a person right in front of her. The lag cleared. The graphics sharpened. She was back in the room. Version control. The legacy code problem. In software development, legacy code is source code that relates to a no longer supported or manufactured operating system or other computer technology. It is code that is still hanging around in the mainframe, causing compatibility errors with new updates. Guilt is your legacy code. It is a script written by a younger, less experienced developer, you in the past. Script, I messed up that relationship. Script, I shouldn't have said that. Script, I wasted those years. The problem isn't that you made a mistake. The problem is that you are keeping the error log open permanently. You are forcing your current CPU to process data from 2015. This creates latent lag. You feel heavy and slow today because you are dragging a terabyte of old files behind you. Helpful versus system error. We need to distinguish between 2 types of bad feelings. 1. The warning signal helpful. Function, to alert you of a current violation. Signal, I am currently hurting this person. Action, stop. Apologize. Change behavior. Result, signal clears. System returns to green. This is useful. This is a proximity sensor. 2. The system error guilt. Function, to punish you for a past violation. Signal, I am a bad person because I hurt someone 3 years ago. Action, ruminate. Feel shame. Replay the tape. Result, signal never clears. It loops. The strategy. If you can fix it with your hands active, do it. If you can only fix it with your mind passive, it is a system error. Force quit. The version control protocol. You must start treating your life in versions. UV10 child, ran on pure emotion. No logic chips installed yet. Youth young adult, high energy, low wisdom. Prone to crashing. UV30 now, the current stable build. When you look back at a mistake made by V20, you must view it with the compassion of a senior developer looking at a junior intern's code. Ah, I see what you tried to do there. Missing a semicolon. That crashed the system. Okay, we fixed that in patch 3. You do not scream at the intern. You do not fire the intern, self-hatred. You document the bug, you issue the patch, and you archive the file. The command. That was a logic error in an older version of the software. That version has been deprecated. I am running V30 now. Forgiveness isn't spiritual. It's just good file management. Clear the cache. Speed up the machine. The hotfix. 1. The timestamp protocol. When the guilt glitch starts looping. I should have done X. Action, check the timestamp. When did X happen? 5 years ago. Where are you now? Here. You cannot patch the past. You can only patch the present. Say, that version of me is dead. I am running new code now. 2. The lesson extraction. Guilt is just data trying to be processed. It keeps knocking until you open the door. Action, extract the lesson. Write down, I made a mistake. The lesson is X. Once the lesson is extracted, the data packet is processed. The knocking stops. Archive it. 3. Admin command line, self-forgiveness scripts. Use these when the guilt virus attacks. Scenario, you feel bad about a past mistake. Command, I forgive myself for not knowing then what I know now. Version 1 cannot be judged by version 2 standards. Scenario, someone tries to guilt trip you. Command, I acknowledge your feelings, but I do not accept the guilt. I did the best I could with the bandwidth I had. Scenario, the 3 a.m. guilt attack. Command, this file is corrupted. It serves no function in my current build. Delete. Patch history. Case study, the divorced user. Profile, Mike 45. Bug, divorced 3 years ago. Still running regret loop, pi every morning. I should have listened more. The fix, version control. Mike realized that Mike V10, the husband, didn't have the listening skills module installed. He couldn't have done better because the code wasn't there. Result, he stopped blaming V10. He focused on coding Mike V20. He is now happily remarried because he installed the update instead of mourning the crash. Case study, the lazy student. Profile, Jenny 22. Bug, failed a class. Labeled herself corrupt hardware, stupid. The fix, timestamp protocol. That was Jenny V12, freshman year. She was overwhelmed and buggy. Result, she relabeled the event from I am broken to that version had a bug. She updated her study habits patch and got a B. New game start. You are not your past. You are the developer who learned from it. The version of you that crashed. They are gone. They have been overwritten. They did the best they could with the code they had. Forgive them. They were trying to run a high-end game on low-end hardware. Close the old log files. Clear your cache. The system is running fast now. Look at the graphics on this level. Play here. Delete save. Your mission for today. 1. Find the glitch. Identify one guilt loop you replay often. 2. Check version. What year was that? Which version of you was running? AJ. UV25. 3. Empty trash. Write it down. Say bug fixed in newer version. Throw it away. Worksheet bug report. Troubleshooting. System error, the guilt won't go away. Diagnosis, incomplete processing. The fix, the amends protocol. Patch, sometimes you need to run an external fix. If you hurt someone, apologize. Not to get forgiveness, that's their business, but to clean your own side of the street. Script, I realized I was wrong about X, I am sorry. I am working on fixing that bug in my system. System error, I feel like I don't deserve to be happy. Diagnosis, self-sabotage routine. The fix, logic override. Patch, punishing myself does not help the person I hurt. It just adds more suffering to the world. The best way to conduct repairs is to be a high-functioning, happy human who contributes good things. System error, I keep replaying the scene. Diagnosis, loop glitch. The fix, disrupt the pattern. Patch, every time the memory starts, literally clap your hands loud. Say stop. Then immediately switch tasks to something physical, push-ups, dishes. Retrain your brain that this loop equals hard work, and it will stop running it. F.O.G filter. Security alert. The ability to observe without evaluating is the highest form of intelligence. Jiddu Krishnamurti. You are the sky. Everything else, it's just the weather. Pema Chodron. Port scanning. You have a spam filter for your email. You have a firewall for your computer. You have an ad blocker for your browser. But do you have a firewall for your mind? For most of us, the port 80 to our brain is wide open. We let any data packet enter. Scary news. Download complete. Angry tweet. Install immediately. Insecurity ad. Run as administrator. No wonder your system is crashing. You are running thousands of malicious scripts that you didn't even ask for. It is time to install a Mind Firewall. It is time to configure your security settings. Inbox overflow. Imagine you have an email inbox with absolutely no spam filter. Every Nigerian prince, every Viagra ad, every phishing scam lands right in your primary folder, mixed in with emails from your boss and your mother. You would spend your entire day deleting trash. You would never get to your real work. You would be exhausted by 10 a.m. just from the act of sorting. This is how most people live their lives. I had a client, Leo. He was a creative director at a major agency. He came to me because he felt uninspired, anxious, and burnt out. He thought he had lost his talent. We audited his inbox, his attention. Leo spent 4 hours a day on Instagram and Twitter. He looked at other designers and felt jealous. He read political hot takes and felt angry. He watched viral videos of people screaming in airports and felt hopeless. He was downloading terabytes of trash directly into his neural network every single day. And then he tried to sit down and design something beautiful. His brain wasn't broken. It wasn't uninspired. It was just under a DDoS attack, distributed denial of service. His bandwidth was choked with spam. We installed a filter. We blocked Instagram on his phone. We unsubscribed from every news alert. We whitelisted only 3 sources of high-quality art to look at for 15 minutes a day. Leo didn't read a single book on creativity. He just stopped processing the spam. His anxiety dropped 80% in 3 days. The talent came back immediately. It was never gone. It was just buried under a mountain of junk mail. Your mind is a supercomputer. Stop using it to process garbage. Whitelisting protocol. The strategy is whitelisting. Most people operate on a blacklist model. They let everything in by default, every conversation, every notification, every request, and then try to block the bad stuff after it hurts them. Oh, that news story made me panic. I should try to forget it. This is too slow. By the time you feel the fear, the malware is already installed. The virus is already replicating in your mood. You cannot win a security war with a blacklist. New viruses are created every day. We are shifting your operating system to a whitelist model. Rule: nothing gets in unless it is on the approved list. Default setting: black all. The 3 gateways. Before you click a link, answer a phone call, or engage in a conversation, the data packet must pass the security check. 1. Is it verified? Truth check. Is this actual data, or is it speculation, gossip, or clickbait? If it's some guy said X, it gets blocked. Only raw data enters. 2. Is it actionable? Utility check. Can I use this code in my base layer, my physical life? If I read this article about the economy, can I change my investment portfolio? If no, it is bloatware. Blocked. 3. Is it clean? Frequency check. Does this input make me feel expanded, curious, inspired, calm, or contracted, tight, scared, angry? If it's heavy, it's malware. Blocked. If it fails any of these checks, the firewall rejects it. Access denied. You don't fight it. You don't argue with it. You just don't download it. You scroll past. You hang up. You walk away. You are the admin. Protect the network. Security settings. 1. The mute block protocol. Your block button is your best friend. In the old world, blocking someone was rude. In the digital world, blocking is sanitation. Action: audit your feeds right now. The uncle who posts racist memes. Mute. The influencer who makes you feel poor fat. Unfollow. The bot account trying to sell you crypto. Block. Curate your feed until it looks like a museum, not a dumpster. If it doesn't spark joy or intelligence, delete it. 2. The clickbait firewall. Headlines are designed to inject malware fear into your brain in 0.5 seconds. You won't believe what politician did. Action: do not click. Treat clickbait like a suspicious email attachment from a stranger. If the headline is screaming, it contains a virus. If it uses emotional trigger words, destroy, slam, terrifying, it is malware. Scroll past. Do not engage. Deny the connection request. 3. Intentional querying. Never browse. Browsing is opening your server ports to random traffic. Action: only go online with a specific search query. Bad: opening YouTube to see what's new. You will lose 2 hours. Good: opening YouTube to search how to fix a leaky faucet, watching the video and closing the tab. Execute the mission. Exfiltrate. Do not loiter in the bad neighborhood. 4. Admin command line, verbatim scripts. Use these scripts to enforce your filter IRL, in real life. Scenario: a friend starts gossiping. Command: I'm trying to cut down on gossip. It clutters my brain. Let's talk about your new job instead. Scenario: someone asks, did you hear the bad news? Command: no, and I don't want to. I'm having a really good day, and I want to keep it that way. Scenario: you catch yourself doom scrolling. Command: system alert. Unauthorized data intake. Abort. Then physically throw your phone onto the couch. Firewall logs. Case study: the adblock life. Profile: Leo 34. Glitch: doom scrolling for 4 hours a day. Brain full of spam, jealousy, fear. The fix: whitelisting. He deleted the apps. He only accessed the internet on his desktop, intention. He only visited 3 specific design blogs. Result: it was like silence. His brain speed increased. He started creating original work again because his RAM wasn't full of other people's cache files. Case study: the nice lady. Profile: Martha 60. Glitch: listened to her neighbor gossip for 45 mins every morning. Malicious data packet. The fix: the firewall. Martha: I'm doing a positivity challenge, so I'm skipping the bad news talk. Result: the neighbor, the spammer, stopped sending data. Martha reclaimed 45 mins of processing power every morning. Safe mode. When you install a firewall, you create a safe mode in your mind. It becomes quiet. It becomes clear. In that silence, you can finally run your own code. You realize that most of your anxiety wasn't yours. It was imported malware. It was a virus you downloaded because you forgot to lock the door. Lock the door. Clean the disk. It feels so good to run a clean system. Your performance is about to skyrocket. Security audit. Your mission for today. 1. Ban 3 IPs, go to your most used app. Mute unfollow 3 accounts that post negative spam. 2. Install AdBlock, follow 1 new clean source art, nature space. 3. Security audit, notice how you feel after 24 hours of filtered data. Lighter. Faster. Worksheet, security settings. Troubleshooting. System error, I feel rude blocking people I know. Diagnosis, social protocol conflict. The fix, the mute button. Patch, most platforms have a mute function. They stay your friend, so no drama, but you never see their posts. Logic, you are not obligated to listen to everyone you have ever met. Your attention is your house. You decide who comes in for dinner. System error, I'm bored without the drama. Diagnosis, dopamine detox. The fix, high-quality input. Patch, when you stop eating junk food, you crave vegetables. When you stop consuming drama, you will be bored. Fill that void with high-quality content. Read a book. Listen to a history podcast. Learn a language. Upgrade your inputs from fast food to superfoods. System error, people call me ignorant. Diagnosis, peer pressure malware. The fix, result validation. Patch, if ignorant means I am happy, productive, and calm, then yes, I am ignorant. I prefer selective to ignorant. 9. Mastering collapse. Generating world, security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Helen Keller. Trust the wait. Embrace the uncertainty. Enjoy the beauty of becoming. Unknown. Loading screen loop. We are addicted to preloading. I need to know if I got the job. I need to know if the market crashes. We want to download the entire map before we take a single step. But the game of life doesn't work that way. Life is procedurally generated. This means the ground is built as you step on it. The bridge doesn't exist until you walk off the cliff. If you wait for the map to load, you will wait forever. You are stuck in the loading screen because you are afraid of the game. 0 F.O.G means playing in real time. It means trusting that your GPU is fast enough to render the floor when your foot hits it. Speedrun strategies. I watched a documentary about a gamer playing a speedrun of Super Mario. He was moving so fast, he was literally glitching through walls. He didn't have a conscious plan for every pixel. He had trust in his reflexes. He was in flow. Now imagine a planner playing the same game. He pauses the game every 2 seconds. Okay, if the Goomba moves left, I will move right. But what if he jumps? I need a contingency plan for the jump. He unpauses. The Goomba moves down. He panics. Game over. We try to be planners in a speedrun world. We try to buffer the future to avoid mistakes. We sit in our rooms, staring at walls, trying to figure out our lives 10 years in advance. But buffering is slow. Buffering is lag. And while you are buffering, the game clock is ticking. I had a client, Lisa. She had a job interview on Monday. On Tuesday, she checked her email every 30 seconds. She checked it 400 times in one day. She was trying to force the render. She was burning 100% of her CPU capacity on a screen, the email response, that hadn't updated yet. It drained her. It made her slow. It made her desperate. When the email finally came on Thursday, we chose another candidate. She had 0 energy left to handle the rejection. She crumpled. She had spent all her energy coins on the waiting room. You need to stop buffering. You need to play the frame you are in. The game happens in real time. Everything else is just a loading screen you created in your own head. Procedural generation. The strategy is just-in-time rendering, procedural generation. In old video games, the entire world was built before you started playing. In modern games, like Minecraft or No Man's Sky, the world is generated procedurally. The computer only builds the mountain when you look at the mountain. If you aren't looking at it, it doesn't exist. This saves massive computing power. Your life is procedurally generated. 1. The rendering engine, your brain. 2. The code, your actions. 3. The map, the future. Most people think the map is static. The future is set. I just have to find it. No. The map is dynamic. You generate the chunk you're standing in. The bug, you assume you need the whole map to be safe. I need to know who I will marry. I need to know if this business will work. I need to know if I will get cancer in 20 years. You are trying to render level 10 while you are standing in level 1. Your GPU crashes. You get anxiety. The fix, render only the immediate radius. I don't know what happens in level 10, but I know how to jump over this pit in level 1. When you focus all your energy on the current jump, you land it. And when you land it, level 2 generates automatically. The mantra, I trust my physics engine. I don't need to know the map. I just need to trust that when I jump, gravity works and my legs work. I trust my ability to figure it out when I get there. This shifts you from external control, trying to control the map, to internal control, mastering the controller. The Scout class. 1. The Fog of War walk. In strategy games, the black area is the fog of war. It is scary because it is unknown. The planner stays in the base. The scout runs into the dark. Action, send a scout. Do one thing today where you don't know the outcome. Take a new route home. Will there be traffic? Maybe. Go anyway. Order the mystery dish at the restaurant. Talk to a stranger. Train your brain that unrevealed map. Equals death. Most of the time, the fog of war hides treasure, not monsters. 2. The loading screen bypass. When you catch yourself waiting, refreshing, or buffering. Action, force a new level. Waiting for a text. Put the phone in a drawer. Go wash the dishes. Waiting for an interview result. Apply for another job. Waiting for clarity. Do something confusing. Tell your brain, the data is not ready. We are switching tasks. Do not stare at the spinning wheel. It hypnotizes you into depression. 3. The respawn protocol, debugging the fear of failure. When you spiral, what if I crash? Reply, then we respawn. What if I lose the money? Reply, then we grind for more. What if she breaks up with me? Reply, then we play the single-player campaign for a while. Prove to your brain that there is no permadeath in the modern world. There is only try again. Failure is not the end of the game, it is just a checkpoint reload. 4. Admin command line, verbatim scripts. Use these scripts when you feel the need to control the future. Scenario, panic about a 5-year plan. Command, I am not required to have a 5-year plan. I am required to have a 5-minute plan. What is the next right move? Scenario, indecision analysis paralysis. Command, any decision is better than no decision. I will go left. If left is wrong, I will loop back. Executing move. Scenario, waiting for someone else to make you happy. Command, I am the lead developer of this simulation. I do not wait for NPCs, non-player characters, to give me a quest. I generate my own quest. Hardcore mode. Case study, the control freak. Profile, Dan33. Glitch, save scummer. People who save the game every 5 seconds, so they never make a mistake. Consequence, life was boring. Zero flow. High anxiety about corrupting the save. The fix, hardcore mode, no saves. He had to plan a weekend with 0 reservations. Just drive. Result, he panicked. Then he found a hidden diner. Then he found a weird museum. He realized the procedural generation was better than his plan. Case study, the job seeker. Profile, Lisa, 27. Glitch, staring at the loading screen email. The fix, task switch. Rule, apply once. Close tab. Go paint. Result, she stopped waiting. She started creating, rendering. When the job offer came, she was already busy building something else. You are more attractive when you are rendering, not buffering. The physics engine. The best players don't memorize the map. They master the controls. When you master your own internal state, 0 F.O.G, you don't care what the level looks like. Lava level. Cool. Ice level. Cool. You have the skills to handle it. Stop asking for a walkthrough guide. The guide reduces the game to a checklist. Play the game. Let the map build itself under your feet. You are the engine. Run it. Respawn point. Your mission for today. 1. The scout, do one small thing without knowing the result. Buy a random fruit. Walk down a random street. 2. Stop the spin, catch yourself waiting for an answer text email. Close the app. Go render something real, dishes drawing. 3. Respawn check, ask if my worst fear happens, is it permadeath? Realize the answer is no. Worksheet loading screen log. Troubleshooting. System error, but if I don't plan, I'll fail. Diagnosis, confusion between planning and worrying. The fix, the one-pass rule. Patch, planning is helpful once. I will pack an umbrella. Patch, worrying is planning the same event 50 times. What if the umbrella breaks? What if the wind blows? Rule, plan once. Then execute. If you find yourself replanning the same event without new data, you are glitching. Stop. System error, I tried to trust the flow and it went wrong. Diagnosis, outcome attachment. The fix, the XP mindset experience points. Patch, you didn't fail. You gained XP. Logic, in a game, fighting a hard boss and dying teaches you the attack pattern. The next run is easier. The failure was actually the tutorial for the success. System error, I am paralyzed by too many choices. Diagnosis, analysis paralysis. The fix, RNG, random number generator. Patch, if you're stuck between two good choices, Jim V's. Run, flip a coin. Logic, if the options were clearly different, poison versus. Water, you wouldn't be stuck. You are stuck because the value is equal. So the choice effectively doesn't matter. Just pick one to keep the frame rate high. 10 high-frequency amp. Signal strength, 100%. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. Your vibration is your contribution. Gabrielle Bernstein. System overclock. We have spent the whole book plugging holes. Stopping the leaks fear. Patching the code guilt. Uninstalling bloatware obligation. Your system is now secure. But a secure computer that does nothing is boring. We didn't secure your OS just to let it sit in sleep mode. We want performance. We want to overclock your CPU. We want to install the high-frequency amp. It's not enough to be not sad. We want you to be electric. We want you to run at 4K, 120 FPS with ray tracing on. It is time to upgrade your hardware. The mainframe. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the Wi-Fi signal get stronger? Not literally on your phone, but energetically. Just because one specific person was in the room. They didn't say anything special. They didn't do a backflip. But they had high bandwidths. You felt smarter, faster, and safer just standing near them. That person is a server. Most people are looking for a signal. They walk into a room like a dead phone, asking, where is the charger? Who will make me happy? The server doesn't ask. The server broadcasts. They aren't leeching Wi-Fi from the Starbucks. They are the hotspot. I know a teacher named Mr.G. He teaches high school math, a subject designed to induce boredom and lag. His students are tired, hormonal, and running on low battery. But his class is full. Even the bad kids sit in the front row. Why? Because Mr.G isn't running on low-power mode. He vibrates with enthusiasm about algebra. He creates a localized high-speed network. When kids walk into his room, their ping drops. Their download speeds go up. They feel capable because he is broadcasting a signal that says, you are capable. You can be that person. You can be the fiber optic cable in a world of dial-up connections. The world is desperate for broadband. If you broadcast a high frequency, joy, love, peace, people will connect to you instinctively. And you will never run out of reception because you are the tower. Active broadcasting. How do we generate this signal? We use a protocol called active generation. Most people operate on passive reception. They behave like a radio that is turned off, waiting for a signal to hit them. If my boss compliments me, then I will feel confident. If the weather is nice, then I will feel happy. If I win the lottery, then I will feel rich. This is slow. This is lag. You are waiting for the external server to send you data before you execute your own code. The strategy: you are the host. You don't wait for the packet. You broadcast it. Science HeartMath Institute shows that when you focus on appreciation, your heart creates a coherent electromagnetic field that can be measured several feet away. This is a literal carrier wave. When you decide to switch on your signal by actively feeling gratitude, generosity, or excitement, you change the server rules of the room you are in. You override the glitches around you. You stop adapting to the lag, the bad mood of your spouse, the stress of the meeting, and you start forcing the frame rate up. This is energetic sovereignty. It means your internal signal is stronger than the external noise. You don't catch the flu catches you and dies because your immune system is too hot. You don't catch the bad mood catches you and dissolves because your frequency is too high. Hardware acceleration. 1. The boot-up sequence, gratitude ramp. Every morning, before you open any apps, social media, email, run a diagnostics check on your own hardware. System check: my legs work. Gratitude for mobility. Power supply found. Gratitude for the coffee. Shelter secure. Gratitude for the roof. This isn't positive thinking. It is system calibration. You are checking your resources. Feel the signal strength increase. Do not attempt to run high-intensity tasks until your signal bar is green. 2. The ping test, active appreciation. You feel lonely. Send a ping. Action: send one text of genuine appreciation to someone. Hey, I was just thinking about how you helped me last year. You're awesome. This pings their server. They will ping back. Suddenly, you have established a high-speed connection. The energy you send out always bounces back with lower latency. If you want love, broadcast love. 3. Hardware acceleration, kinetic input. You cannot run high-frequency software on frozen hardware. If you feel the lag, F.O.G, you need to physically reboot. Action: jump. Sprint. Dance. Cold shower. Shake the mouse. Wake up the screen. Generate kinetic energy to jumpstart the emotional energy. Motion creates emotion. 4. Admin command line, verbatim scripts. Use these scripts to broadcast a high signal. Scenario: walking into a tense meeting. Internal command: I am the thermostat, not the thermometer. I set the temperature here. I am broadcasting calm. Scenario: dealing with a rude service worker. Command: hey, I can see you're super busy. You're doing a great job handling all this. Injecting a positive packet into their glitch system. Scenario: starting a difficult conversation. Command: I want to start this by saying I really appreciate value of relationship. I want us to solve this because you matter to me. Bandwidth tests. Case study: the sales team. Bug: sales team was suffering from server crash. Missed targets. High fear. The fix: the boot-up sequence. Every meeting started with sharing one win. Result: the network latency dropped. The team shifted from survival mode to creative mode. Sales went up 30%. Clients like buying from high-bandwidth servers. Desperation: low freak is a broken link. Case study: the mom. Profile: Jen. Bug: mornings were chaos mode. Yelling. Rushing. The fix: audio driver update. She played Happy by Feral at 7 a.m. Result: the kids synchronized with the beat. The stress evaporated. The schedule code was the same, but the vibe music changed the user experience. Admin access. You are now the admin of your reality. You verify your own files. You block the malware. You delete the clutter. And now you are overclocking the engine. This is energetic sovereignty. You are no longer a terminal connected to the mainframe. You are the mainframe. Go out there and broadcast. The network is waiting for your signal. Signal boost. Your mission for today. 1. Ping 3 servers. Send 3 text messages of appreciation. Watch the connection quality improve instantly. 2. Hardware reset. When you feel tired, do 10 jumping jacks. Verify energy boost. 3. Celebrate, you have unlocked the full achievement list. High-five the mirror. Source code, the frequency list. Troubleshooting. System error, this feels like toxic positivity. Diagnosis, inauthenticity. The fix, true versus fake. Patch, toxic positivity is suppressing pain, just smile. High frequency is transmuting pain. I am hurting, but I am also grateful I am alive to feel it. Logic, you don't ignore the fire. You just focus on the water hose. Focus on the solution frequency, not the problem frequency. System error, I tried to be nice and they were still mean. Diagnosis, interference. The fix, signal integrity. Patch, you control the broadcast, not the reception. Logic, coping with a glitchy user is their problem. Your job is to keep your signal clean. If they don't have the hardware to receive your kindness, that is a hardware limitation on their end. Don't lower your bitrate to match them. System error, I ran out of energy. Diagnosis, battery drain. The fix, recharge cycle. Patch, even the sun sets. You cannot broadcast 24/7. When the signal drops, go offline. Sleep. 8. Silence. You cannot output what you have not inputted. 2. Closing. System logs, user reports. The zero F.O.G protocol is not theoretical code. It is live in the wild. We have seen thousands of users, executives, gamers, coders, parents, upgrade their operating system and reclaim their bandwidth. Below are 3 system logs from users who successfully debugged their lives. Log 1, the executive. User, Marcus42. Role, CEO/high-performance server. Initial status, critical overheat. Sleep mode broken. DDoS attack constant. The glitch. Marcus was running a high-frequency trading algorithm on a 1990s server. He believed that sleep is for the weak and grind is God. His F.O.G profile was heavy on obligation. He felt he had to be the savior for his 50 employees, his family, and his shareholders. He was checking emails at 3:00 a.m. He was always on. Result, adrenal burnout. Anxiety attacks. Complete system, freeze during a board meeting. The patch. Marcus installed the DDoS defense, Chapter 8. 1. Whitelisting, he removed email from his phone. He set a hard server maintenance window from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. No inputs allowed. 2. The no protocol, he deleted the open door policy bloatware. He realized that being accessible to everyone meant he was useful to no one. 3. Result, his productivity doubled because his uptime was high quality, not just high quantity. He sleeps 8 hours. His revenue increased. I thought I was the CPU. I realized I was just the cooling fan, spinning myself to death. Now I let the system run. Log 2, the parent. User, Sarah35. Role, mother of 2/community manager. Initial status, low battery mode. Guilt loop infinite. The glitch. Sarah was infected with the good mother malware. This virus told her that if she wasn't exhausted, she wasn't doing enough. If child cries, then I am a bad mother. If house is messy, then I am a failure. She was running meaningless background tasks, ironing toddler clothes, volunteering for committees she hated, baking from scratch to impress other users on Instagram. The patch. Sarah installed the trash bin ritual, Chapter 7, and energy budgeting, Chapter 3. 1. The audit. She looked at her energy bill. 60% of her juice was going to optics, looking like a good mom instead of being a happy one. 2. The purge. She resigned from the PTA. She stopped folding underwear. She bought store-bought cookies. 3. The shift. She used that reclaimed RAM to sit on the floor and actually play Legos with her kids. Not while scrolling. Just playing. I stopped trying to render a perfect simulation for my neighbors. I started playing the game with my kids. The lag is gone. Log 3, the creative. User, Cairo 26. Role, artist/freelancer. Initial status, connection lost. Fear of launch. The glitch. Cairo had potential. Everyone said so. But he never shipped. He was stuck in the leak of fear, Chapter 5. He was pre-rendering disaster scenarios. What if they hate it? What if I get canceled? What if it's not perfect? He was stuck in tutorial mode, endlessly learning, never playing. The patch. Cairo installed Mastering Collapse, Chapter 9, and Procedural Generation. 1. The beta test. He accepted that version 1 would be buggy. He shipped imperfect art. 2. The feedback loop. He realized that failure wasn't a system crash, it was just data. It was a bug report. 3. High frequency. He shifted from begging for likes, client mode, to broadcasting his signal, host mode. I was waiting for the ready signal. It never came. So I just started broadcasting. Turns out the signal finds the receiver. System status, green. These users aren't superhuman. They just uninstalled the malware. They stopped running the F.O.G processes that were stealing their life force. They are no longer NPCs, non-player characters, in someone else's script. They are admins. They aren't just surviving the simulation. They are hacking it. Join the server. The infinite game. End of tutorial. Congratulations. If you are reading this, you have completed the audit. You have looked at the code. You have seen the fear, the obligation, and the guilt for what they are, old software. This is the moment where the credits usually roll. The hero kills the monster. The happily ever after screen fades to black. But you are a gamer. You know what happens after the credits. New Game Plus. In video games, New Game Plus allows you to restart the game, but you keep all your gear, your levels, and your stats. The enemies are harder, but you are a god. You walk through the starting village, the place that used to terrify you, and you realize you are invincible. This is where you are now. You are walking back into your life, the office, the family dinner, the bank queue, but you have the codes. You have the admin access. The sandbox mode. When you remove the F.O.G, you stop playing survival mode. Survival mode is linear. It is about not dying. It is about avoiding pain. Don't get fired. Don't get divorced. Don't get yelled at. When you quit survival mode, you enter creative mode, the sandbox. The sandbox has no linear goal. There is no winning. There is only building. Now that you aren't spending 80% of your energy managing other people's emotions, what will you do with that energy? You have a surplus of RAM. What will you render? Will you code a life of deep, quiet peace? Will you build an empire of art and expression? Will you generate a community of high-frequency players? The admin's responsibility. There is a catch. With admin access comes responsibility. You can no longer blame the system. You can no longer say, I had to do it because they made me. Admin commands are absolute. If you say yes, it is on you. If you say no, it is on you. The password is I choose. It is terrifying. It is vertigo-inducing. The freedom is absolute. But look at the graphics. Look at the colors. Reality is sharper now. The fog has lifted. The draw distance is infinite. You are no longer a client connecting to a server. You are the server. Broadcast your signal. Set your frequency to 500 Hz, love, 600 Hz, peace, 700 Hz, enlightenment. And watch who logs in. Welcome to the open world. New Game Plus. The 7-day speedrun. Do not just close this book and archive it in your read folder. Information without execution is just cached data. It clears when you reboot. We need to install the patch. I challenge you to the 7-day system reboot. For 1 week, run the protocol. No cheats. No exploits. Day 1, the audit reality mapping. Mission, track your energy spent for 12 hours. Action, carry a notebook. Every time you feel a drain, annoyance, fear, guilt, write down the time and the trigger. Goal, identify your biggest bandwidth hogs. Day 2, the Firewall whitelisting. Mission, block all non-essential inputs. Action, turn off all notifications. Email, social news. Goal, experience high-fidelity silence. Day 3, the no protocol obligation. Mission, decline one request. Action, find a should on your calendar, coffee, meeting, favor. Delete it. Send the graceful no script. Goal, feel the terror of saying no and realize the world didn't end. Day 4, the trash bin guilt. Mission, delete one legacy file. Action, write down one thing you are guiding yourself for from the past. Burn the paper. Goal, clear the cache. Day 5, the broadcast high frequency. Mission, send a high-frequency signal. Action, send a message of genuine gratitude, not flattery, to someone you admire. Expect nothing back. Goal, switch from GET mode to post mode. Day 6, the failure collapse. Mission, do something badly. Action, post a rough draft. Sing loudly. Dance offbeat. Goal, prove that a system crash isn't fatal. Day 7, the admin login. Mission, define your sovereign territory. Action, write your terms of service. What do you allow in your life? What is banned? Goal, sign it. Share the source code. If this manual helped you debug your life, do not hoard the patch. There are millions of users stuck in the glitch. They think they are broken. Drop a loot box for a friend. Give them the codes. Status, online. Battery, 100%. F.O.G, 0%. Game on. End of file.